Good evening and thanks for making MTN your choice for news. I'm Tim McGonigal. The latest numbers show cases of COVID-19 continue to rise. State numbers show 220 active cases. The latest case is a Cascade County woman in her 40s associated with out-of-state travel. It's the county's 27th overall case. Currently, 14 cases require hospitalization. Of the nearly 840 cases confirmed in the state, nearly 600 are considered recovered. The state also reported its 22nd death from the virus. Rosebud County says a death occurred in an individual who previously lived in that county. And tonight we learn at least one Montana State football player has tested positive for COVID-19. Multiple sources close to the program told MTN Sports. The case comes after the university opened up some of its facilities for voluntary athletics-related workouts on June 1st, the same day that Governor Steve Bullock announced that Montana was moving into phase 2 of its reopening plan. According to the sources, the Bobcat football player tested positive late last week. We have more on this story at mtnsports.com. Well, Governor Bullock announced this week that nursing homes and assisted living facilities can begin allowing visitors again. Despite that, it may be a while before visitors can actually go to see their loved ones. With more on the story, here's MTN's Matt Holzaffel.
On Thursday, Governor Steve Bullock announced that nursing homes and assisted living centers could start allowing visitors back inside, given they follow certain social distancing and health guidelines. But when I spoke to several different nursing homes, including the Grand View at Benefice behind me, it doesn't sound like they're planning on allowing visitors inside anytime soon.
Moving forward, these facilities may allow visitors in accordance with CMS guidelines and after notifying both residents and family members.
Despite the governor's updated directive, the responsibility to put a plan in place for allowing visitors back in falls on senior care officials.
This is not one of the times we're going to be the first to open up. We're going to look at this very measured and very safely to make sure that we're very prudent for our residents and keep them as safe as possible.
That's causing concern among some family members.
So now this time has gone by, they haven't been outside, they can't see their friends.
Sue Sargent's mom is one of a number of residents who have been isolated on Benefice West's senior services floor. Sue hasn't seen her mom in over 100 days, and now she's worried about her mental health as well as her physical.
They couldn't even have contact with their friends. And so after 3 weeks of them still being in that situation, I started to write letters to the governor and to the head of senior services and voiced my concern.
When she heard the governor's new directive,
my heart was full. I was so excited.
Sue stressed that she isn't asking for everyone to be allowed in for visits right away, just for people like her mom to have a little more freedom. David says many of the decisions his team has had to make weren't easy.
There's many concerns about not being able to see their loved ones on both sides, residents seeing their families and the families not being able to see their residents. Very hard decisions had to be made to have this happen, but it is the right thing to do.
Benefice, Goldstone Assisted Living, and Highgate Senior Living are just a few facilities that have said they will take their time and be cautious when deciding how to let visitors back in. That's exactly what people like Sue are afraid of.
I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't even happen until August 1st. You know, that they go that slow and that cautious about it.
On one hand, some people are excited to see family members they haven't seen in months. But on the other, people are concerned that with the recent spike in COVID-19 cases in Montana, now is not the best time to start allowing visitors back into these places. In Great Falls, Matt Holzaffel, MTN News.
Well, as cases of coronavirus begin to increase across the state, Lewis and Clark Public Health is urging the public to avoid super spreader events. MTN's Sam Hoyle has more.
Though Lewis and Clark County hasn't seen a large increase in COVID-19 cases, the state as a whole saw its largest one-day increase on June 25th with 37 cases. And as cases rise across the state, Lewis and Clark Public Health is urging the public to avoid super spreader events.
We know from experience and now with a better understanding of how this virus operates, that these are the type of opportunities when you bring large groups of people together for extended periods of time, close together for extended periods of time. These are the opportunities this virus takes to spread quickly and to quickly get out of control.
Under Phase 2 guidelines set in place, gatherings are meant to be limited to 50 people or fewer, and Lewis and Clark Public Health is urging the public to remember we still are in Phase 2, and that if they are planning on attending a super spreader event, to avoid going.
I know that that's challenging and it doesn't make the event is less fun, but that's the way we need to stay safe. And so first and foremost, please don't go. Secondly, if you do go or if you must be there, then you need to protect yourself and protect others by wearing a mask.
Now, it's possible that you've seen this circulating online. This is a face mask exempt card created by the Freedom to Breathe agency. The card states that people who present the card are exempt from wearing a mask inside establishments that require people to wear masks. And though people present the card to establishments like Real Food Market and Deli where face masks are required for indoor service, they might ask people to pursue other options.
No mask, no in-store service, period. It doesn't matter if you have a card or not. If you're not going to come in with the mask on, there is no in-store service. You can't make a purchase. We'll meet you outside. You can give us your order. You can order online, but it doesn't matter if you have a card or not. If you don't have a mask on, you don't get to come in.
Now, while this card I'm carrying doesn't, there have been cards circulating around with a Department of Justice logo, and the ADA, a branch of the Department of Justice, has stated online that they did not issue nor do they endorse these cards. Reporting in Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN News.
Well, hopefully you were able to soak up some of the sunshine today because this weekend it's all about to change. And for more, we turn to Curtis Grevenitz from the Storm Tracker Weather Center.
Tim, if they couldn't all be just like today, though, right? I mean, love a continuation of that into the weekend, but unfortunately, we have some big-time changes on the way. Let's take a look at a flood watch here. Teton County, Cascade County, Lewis and Clark County. This going into effect later in the day on Sunday and going all the way into Wednesday because of some heavy rain potentially in this area, up to as much as 4 inches. Teton River, Sun River, Dearborn River, Elk Creek. These are places that could see a rapid rise in waters. It's kind of a 1-2 punch. The first punch, though, is actually severe weather tomorrow. The second punch might be that potential for flooding here. Forecast headlines: the sunshine that we had today and for the first part of tomorrow will yield to thunderstorms, possibly severe tomorrow afternoon. Sunday. Oh, that's when it gets pretty rainy here. And if you're looking for some of that typical summertime heat, well, you might be waiting for a little while. I'll have more of the full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Curtis. Jonathan Birch, the man accused of shooting 4 people, including a Montana Highway Patrol trooper in March of 2019, has changed his plea to guilty. MTN's Connor McCauley was in the courtroom today. He has the latest on the case.
On March 15, 2019, Jonathan Birch was taken into police custody after a string of shootings in Missoula and Evero Hill left 1 person dead and 3 injured. Now, more than a year later, Birch has pled guilty to 1 count of deliberate homicide and 3 counts of attempted deliberate homicide.
So as to count 1, deliberate homicide, how do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 2, attempted deliberate homicide, how do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 3, attempted deliberate homicide, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And count 4, attempted deliberate homicide, how do you plead?
Guilty.
The March 15th incident started with Jonathan Birch shooting Casey Blanchard, who was in attendance Friday, his mom Julie, and their friend Shelly Hayes. Hayes died at the scene. Julie and Casey were both injured, and Casey is now paralyzed from the waist down. His mom Julie succumbed to her injuries in June at a hospital in Washington. After the first shooting, Jonathan Birch escaped to the Evero area where he ambushed Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Wade Palmer in his vehicle, shooting him multiple times. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Wade Palmer, who was also in attendance for the change of plea, was in critical condition after being shot in the head, face, and neck. He is still recovering from the night and will continue to for some time. Since Birch's initial appearance in court, his charges have been amended to reflect the death of Julie Blanchard. Birch's plea still reflected the initial charges, though.
The defendant then gets to make the decision about which one he pleads to. The defendant has a right to come in and plead any day, and he can plead as charged. So today he came in and pled to, as he was originally charged, 1 count of deliberate homicide and 3 counts of attempted deliberate homicide.
Birch's sentencing date still has yet to be set. They plan on doing that at an August 31st status conference. In Missoula, Connor McCauley, MTN News.
A state legislative committee received an update today on how Montana's all-male primary election panned out for the Native American communities. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports on what election officials and advocates saw.
On Friday, the State Tribal Relations Interim Committee held a virtual meeting taking a look at how the major changes to this month's primary election affected voting in Montana's tribal areas. Because of concerns about COVID-19, the state gave counties the option to switch to all-mail ballots, and all counties took that option. 4 election administrators from counties with large Indian populations reported turnout had been close to usual or higher compared to previous primaries. But advocates told lawmakers they also heard about issues with the mail ballot system, including people with questions about the 3-party ballots they received, and reports that a number of voters didn't receive their mail ballots at all. Leaders say in Indian country there are additional challenges with mail ballots because many people don't get mail to their homes, and multiple people may share post office boxes. Representative Sharon Stewart Paragoy, a Democrat from Crow Agency, says she found her own ballot had been mailed to the wrong place.
If we're going to go all mail ballot again, then we have to do everything we can to make sure that people have the opportunity to vote. If the system is broken or somehow the information is not getting out there, then we need to work on it because it is a constitutional right.
In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
Great Falls residents interested in a 4-year business degree will once again be able to obtain that degree without leaving the Electric City, as Montana State Northern and Great Falls College announced an expanding partnership this week. Beginning this fall, Northern will offer 2 upper division business classes at the Great Falls College campus. Through the partnership, students would spend their first 2 years getting an associate's degree with GFC, then seamlessly transferring to Northern with the ability to stay on the Great Falls campus. The partnership between the schools already allows for a 4-year education program to be completed in Great Falls. MSU Northern Provost Neil Moisey said while business and education degrees are offered now, he envisions a similar partnership for more programs in the future.
Those are the first 2 we wanted to put together. We're trying to address the teacher shortage in this region, and then the other one is really addressing a need, a demand that students have in business. And so, you know, that's the start of putting those together, and we'll look at how that works and what other demands are, and look at other potential 4-year degree programming that we can offer there.
And those interested in taking either or both of the Northern business classes should contact admissions at Northern. Coming up, a place dedicated to helping victims of domestic violence is getting a federal funding boost. We'll explain after the break.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's News Leader.
Welcome back. Over the last month, the state of Montana has awarded more than $4.5 million to social service nonprofits with CARES Act funding. MTN's John Riley caught up with the Friendship Center in Helena to see how that funding has helped them ensure the safety of those in their care.
Each year, the Friendship Center helps hundreds of victims of domestic violence, often providing much-needed shelter to those individuals. COVID-19 has complicated some of the services of the congregate living shelter, but it has not stopped them from helping those in need.
We've definitely had to really think it through each week and each day how we're going to make sure that everyone stays safe that day, because we do provide an essential service, and so we have to be open. We're committed to being open, and that means also making sure we stay healthy.
The Friendship Center recently received $10,000 of CARES Act funding through the state's social services nonprofit grant program.
We're not moving people in until we know they're healthy, and so that means putting them up in a hotel and making sure that they've had a chance to get tested and the test results come back negative, and so that's a huge expense for us, is quarantining people.
The Friendship Center has also been buying food for their clients, something they normally don't do, just to further limit potential exposure to COVID. As long as the virus is a threat, the additional cost of protecting the Friendship Center's population will remain. But EC wants people to know, if they're a victim of domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking, the Friendship Center is ready and able to help. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Well, Last Dance Gulch hosted an inflatable costume flash mob and social distance party. Folks gathered in the walking mall with their inflatable costumes. They danced, later strolled down the walking mall to Women's Park for an hour of dancing. The organizer expected about 25 people with costumes to participate. The organizer is the owner of Last Dance Gulch and created this flash mob to bring light into the pandemic.
It is super important that we tap into the joy and the beauty and the humor that is still available to us. We just have to intentionally carve out moments for that, and so that's what we're doing tonight.
All right, I don't know anybody who wants to get within 6 feet of a Tyrannosaurus Rex anyway. Looking into the weekend here, some heavy rain, a flood watch, and severe storms, plus a little sunshine. More in the forecast coming up next.
Thanks.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz here on this Friday evening. What a lovely day it was across so much of the state, all of the state. Unfortunately, it won't carry through the weekend into Saturday. Not too bad. 67 in the Electric City here right now. Great day. Nice light still up in the sky in the capital. A little warmer here. Temperature still in the 70s right now. You can see around the states, 60s and 70s. So after a day where highs made it back up into the 80s, even the low 90s in a few spots, it still is pretty warm out there. And the wind was a little breezy this afternoon, a little refreshing breeze at times. 17-mile-per-hour wind gusts peak in the last afternoon, evening around Lewistown. Look at that cup bank at 33 degrees. That's nothing for them up off of the Rocky Mountain front. But flood watch here, Teton County, Cascade County, Lewis and Clark County from Sunday afternoon. That's when the rain will really start get going. But it'll take a little while for all of that heavier rain to drain out of the mountains and head down towards the Missouri River here. So the Teton River, the Sun River, the Dearborn, Elk Creek heading into the Augusta area. These are just a few of the rivers, the tributaries heading down off of the Continental Divide that will likely see a rise in water with as much as 4 inches of rain falling in that area here, mainly up on the Rocky Mountain front. Beautiful day, beautiful evening. There's the front. It's this front right here that will bring the chance of some severe weather for tomorrow afternoon. So let's look into the future in the crystal ball. Maybe an isolated shower tomorrow morning, but even by about 2:30 in the afternoon, that looks pretty good here for a lot of the state. Partly cloudy skies. The wind will be picking up, but it's the thunderstorm activity that starts to pop around 3, 4 o'clock down around Helena and then heading out to around the Lewistown area, Judith Basin County, Fergus County, southeastern Cascade County out there around Belt could get belted pretty hard by some thunderstorms here. Look at this, even into 10 o'clock. Rounds of showers and thunderstorms from Helena through Great Falls. Severe weather, a nasty line of severe storms could be pushing up into the northeast part of the state. So watch out up there around the high line here heading into late tomorrow evening. Through the overnight hours, some of the severe weather continues for northeast Montana. Sunday morning may not be so bad, cloudy skies, but look at the rain increasing here through a lot of the state through late morning into the afternoon. Not severe weather. This is just a soaking rain coming down here for most of Montana that will last through Sunday night all the way into Monday. And are you like me? Are you looking at the mountain snow down there in the southwestern part of the state? Yeah, snow levels maybe down to about 7,000 to 8,000 feet. Here's the forecast for tonight. A mild night, 50s to around 60 degrees. Our high temperatures on Sunday and Monday might not even get that warm. Tomorrow, 70s and 80s. Still some 90s out in eastern Montana. Watch out for those afternoon thunderstorms that could get pretty nasty. Into Sunday, a much cooler day. Highs in the 50s and the 60s with rain increasing across the area. So 80 tomorrow for Great Falls, 60 on Sunday with rain likely through the afternoon. May hold off through the morning hours. Rain into Monday, scattered heavy thunderstorms. Tuesday into Wednesday, capable of producing some more rain. Look at the clearing taking place later in the week, heading into July 4th weekend. And for Helena, afternoon storms tomorrow could be pretty nasty. Cooler and rainier Sunday and Monday, and scattered storms still capable of contributing to the flooding all the way into Wednesday of next week.
Friday night at the dirt track is a family affair for a Great Falls father and son. See how they're bound by racing next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's news leader.
Dirt track racing returned to Great Falls earlier this month after a 2-month hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. MTN's Tom Wiley shows us how races can be a safe escape for both fans and drivers.
The Electric City Speedway held its third race of the season Friday night with social distancing guidelines in place. There's limited capacity in the stands and in the pits, but the drivers are just happy to be back on the dirt track.
They're ecstatic. They are ready to go. The fans, we sold out 300 tickets, I think, in one day, both times. Last week, the county opened us up to go to 1,000 people, so we weren't there yet. But everything's gone well. Had full pits, and hopefully we'll have full stands before too long.
The season was originally scheduled to start in April, and the uncertainty following the track shutdown took a toll on drivers. For Patrick Lemaire, his summers have revolved around racing for over 20 years.
Oh, it's been my hobby, my drug for ever since I was 13 years old, and I'm going on 39 right now.
What makes it even more special is that he gets to share the track with his 14-year-old son, Braden, who's finally old enough to race after years in the pits.
Just to be able to hang out with family and have something that really connects us together.
Oh, it's a blast. The first night here, we had a really big car count, and I mean, I was more nervous in that main event than he was. I had him start in the back just because of all the cars, and he made it up and he finished right behind me. I finished second and he finished sixth his first night out. So
Braden's track debut came under difficult circumstances, but he's savoring his time on the track with his family.
I don't know, I didn't know if I'd get the car out this year or what was going on because of COVID, but now that we're back out here, it's pretty fun.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
Well, on Thursday, Senator Steve Daines introduced a bill in an effort to save Montana's Pioneer League teams. The bill would amend the Small Business Act to prevent Major League Baseball teams from receiving benefits from the Paycheck Protection Program or any lending programs from the CARES Act. Daines said the bill is intended to put pressure on MLB to keep its minor league affiliations after proposed cuts, including those to the Great Falls Voyagers, Billings Mustangs, and Missoula Paddleheads. Great Falls Voyagers President Scott Reasoner said in a statement, quote, "This bill is another great step taken by Senator Daines to show what professional baseball means to our state and the detrimental impact Major League Baseball's proposed cuts would have on our communities, both to individuals' lives and our local economies," end quote. We'll be right back after this.
All right, get out early, get out often, because both tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon, the rain will be increasing across a lot of the area here. That rain will continue all the way into Monday as well.
Yeah, if you got some stuff to do around the yard, make sure to get it done by, say, early afternoon.
And then you can work inside.
There you go.
Leave some time for relaxing too.
Absolutely. And that's all the time we have. Thanks to Curtis for filling in these past couple of days. Have a great night. The weekend team will be here tomorrow at 5:30.